Welcome back everyone. So in today's topic we would be discussing about a new interesting thing, and that is regarding our spherical mirrors. We want In the previous lectures we studied about the reflection through plane mirror, but today we will be studying about reflection through spherical mirrors. So before going to start with the reflection through spherical mirrors, on the screen itself you may have been seeing there are two images which I am representing, and if you remember very well, we had discussed in the previous lectures about convergence and divergence, converging rays and diverging rays. Yes, correct, you remember very well. So what is conversion and what is diversion, we have tried our best to show over here. Let us see it in quick. So suppose that the figure A is there, the figure A, I will call it as the figure A, and this figure as the figure B. So the figure A which I am representing here, this shows the converging beam of light. The figure A itself is showing the converging beam of light. This means, or this beam is used when we want to concentrate light at one place. See over here. Okay, just first of all let us draw a rough sketch over there. Let me add one more slide. Okay, let us see here. Suppose that this is a particular point, source point P, and a number of rays come and fall or meet in the point P. So this point is the converging point. Okay, these rays are the converging rays. These a number of rays together, when they come at one point, that is known as beam. So that beam is the converging beam of light, and this beam is used when we want to concentrate light at a particular point. You may have seen that if suppose you visit to a doctor, suppose generally that is a dentist, then to observe your teeth, that he uses the converging rays or converging beam of light. Also if you visit to any kind of ENT specialist, ear nose trachea specialist, so to peep into your ears or to see into your eyes, or even when they need to observe your throat deep in the mouth, there too they use the beam of light, that is converging beam. Okay, so it is also used in solar water heaters and other devices, remember very well. So let us now talk about the diverging rays. What are diverging rays then? Suppose this is a source point, and from this source point number of rays or a beam of ray comes out, then that is a diverging beam. This is a diverging beam of light, and this is used, when it is used, when we want to spread light. Suppose that from this point of source, this is point source, let us call it as point P. From this point of source, if you want to split the light in various places, then it is used over there. And if you know very well, on our lamp post on the streets, suppose that this is a pole on our streets and here is a lamp post, and on that lamp post we may have observed there that these rays are split all over. So street lights, we will call this as street lights itself. Okay, so this is the example of diverging beam. So now after you are clear with the diverging beam and the converging beam itself, so let us talk about the converging rays in the spherical mirror and the diverging rays in the spherical mirror. So here, coming back to our mirrors, when the rays of light fall on these concave mirrors, these rays of light are falling on the concave mirror itself. See over here, I am tracing them. Actually they were black in color, but I am tracing it with yellow one. Okay, let us make it more darker that you can see. Let us take, okay, red one. So these rays, when fall on the concave mirror, they reflect back and gather at one point. See, here at point F, they are gathering here. You may see at point F, all the rays are gathered here. Okay. So here these rays are gathered, and this thing is known as, or we may call this thing as particularly, these are the concave mirrors which are converging one. What are these? converging ones. The concave mirror and converging parallel rays will be called converging mirrors itself. And if suppose the diverging rays are there, or the mirrors are itself diverging parallel rays, then in the convex mirror, where it will occur in convex mirror, then they are known as the diverging mirror. See over here, here is at one point F, and from this the light rays are splitting out. Okay, so these are the diverging rays. These rays are the diverging rays itself. So hope that you are clear with the concave mirror, concave mirror, convex mirror, converging and diverging mirrors with regarding to the rays itself. Okay. So now friends, let us now talk about the spherical mirrors. Note down the heading for us, that is actually I don't have a typo with me. I have made an household apparatus with the help of our sketch pens and anything, some copper wire and all these things, because we know physics very well, so I have used it. I will show what I have used at the last part of this video. So the spherical mirror, the heading for the new session is the spherical mirror. What is a spherical mirror? A spherical mirror is that mirror whose reflecting surface is a part of hollow sphere. If suppose that we all know very well, here is a reflecting surface itself. Suppose, just suppose that it is a surface. Okay, let's take something different. Okay, so suppose this is a surface itself over here, and on this surface it is a reflecting one, and a part of hollow sphere of a glass. Suppose here is a complete circle, and here it is having a reflecting surface, this particular one, that may be either reflecting from inside or from outside. That may be, see over here, that may be reflecting from this portion, the portion I am using purple one, this would be its reflecting portion. Or either suppose there is a spherical glass, so there is a sphere itself, and suppose now this one is from outside, the reflecting surface, let us give from this side. So this is the reflecting surface from inside or outside on a hollow sphere of glass. Then such a mirror is known as a spherical mirror. And these spherical mirrors are of two types. I just before some time said that the reflecting surface may be from inside or that may be from outside itself. Now if suppose that the spherical mirror which has the reflecting surface from the center towards the center, अगर center की तरफ है, it is towards the center itself, then such type of mirror is known as concave mirror. This one is known as the concave mirror itself. And suppose, just suppose that a spherical mirror which has reflecting surface away from the center, it is away from the center, let us call it is in the outward manner, it is from the exterior point of view, then this one is known as convex mirror. One more simple and tricky thing you want to I would like to tell you, that if suppose that we are talking about spherical mirrors, then the silver coated surface is from the outside of this रिफ्लेक्टिंग सरफेस, अगर अंदर से है तो सिल्वर कोटेड सरफेस फ्रॉम आउटसाइड होगा, और रिफ्लेक्टिंग सरफेस अगर बाहर से है फ्रॉम दिस साइड वन, तो सिल्वर कोटिंग सरफेस फ्रॉम द इनर पोर्शन इधर से होगा. So these are the concave and convex mirrors itself. Now let us see with the help of the graphic too. Whatever we have talked, I am giving it here in the presentation itself. See over here, what is spherical mirror? Spherical mirror, a curved mirror formed by part of hollow glass. There is a hollow glass surface, and with the help of that hollow glass surface we are making a curved mirror, and that has a reflecting surface within its own. Suppose this is the glass. If the reflecting surface, while we talked, if the reflecting surface is on one side and on the other side it is coated one, suppose here it is from outside, the reflecting surface is from outer one, then the inner one is the coated one. So in this manner, then what is concave mirror and convex mirror, we lastly talked there. A concave mirror is a curved mirror. Here we can see properly in the diagram. There too we had seen in the first slide, and the second slide too I had shown you, and now too I am talking the same thing. Concave mirror is a curved mirror. It is having a curved one, and it has a surface on the hollow side. The reflecting surface of concave mirror is on the hollow side. Suppose this is the glass surface and the reflecting surface is from the inner one. Here I am showing it with the red portion will be this one. So this is the reflecting surface. What is this? This is the reflecting surface. It is from the hollow side. Then such a mirror is known as concave mirror. And suppose that similarly I am talking about another mirror. Suppose this is the reflecting surface, and here from inside let us consider it as a mirror over here. Then at this place or at this point of view we will call this as a convex mirror. What type of mirror is this? This is the convex mirror. So in short now we will be discussing, एकदम short में बोलेंगे हम कि reflecting surface if is on the concave side, reflecting surface on concave side, it is a concave mirror, and if reflecting surface is on the convex side, then it is a convex mirror. Okay, hope you all people are clear with it. Now let us talk about the next thing. Let us talk about the physical significances about this mirror. Suppose that let us draw, just imagine that this is a mirror itself, then there would be a principal axis. That principal axis will pass through the center itself. That let me represent it as x and x dash. This is its principal axis. Then there let C be the, let us call it as center of curvature. C is the center of curvature. Then here the point on the mirror where the point P, it is pole. What is it? It is a pole. And then let us just draw a dotted line in between C and P. The dotted line in between C and P. This dotted line that we will call, let me name it M and M dash. This would be our aperture. What would be? Aperture. Now let us talk about these things in detail over here. Let me explain you properly everything. So if you suppose that if there is a spherical mirror, let me draw it only a small one. Okay, this is a hollow sphere for us. Okay, so now in this hollow sphere let us consider that this C is the center of this sphere. C is the center of the sphere itself. So this is known as the center of curvature. I will draw it by, write it by capital C. This capital C is the center of curvature. Remember the names. I will be giving the names to you in the next slide. This C is the center of the curvature. It is the center of the sphere of which the mirror surface is part. Now suppose that here the mirror surface is this one. This is our mirror surface which I am drawing it with the help of red one. Okay, this is our mirror surface, and the remaining rest portion would be our hollow sphere. This would be our hollow sphere. Okay, now as C is the center of curvature, now let us talk about the next one, that is P. What would be the P or the pole? So the center of spherical mirror, now the line which is going from the center of our curvature and which intersects the spherical mirror itself. The line is intersecting our spherical mirror itself. That point, there this intersection is at point P, that is known as pole. What is that known as? Pole. It is written by capital P itself. Now let us talk about radius of curvature. What is radius of curvature? So the radius of the sphere of which the mirror surface is part. See over there. Now let me take a different. Okay, so this is the radius of the sphere from C to point P itself. This is the distance. Okay, so the radius of the sphere of which mirror surface is part, this radius C to P is known as the radius of curvature, that is given by capital R itself. So I will draw it from here to this point. Okay, so this is our radius of curvature R. Then moving to the next thing, what is principal axis? So let me tell you that the line which joins the pole and the center, of curvature, this particular line itself is our principal axis, and that principal axis usually we may denote by any terms. For me here I will be writing x and x dash. Why? Because they are in the x axis, or they are in the horizontal line, so I will write it as x and x dash. Now the important thing, last one, that is aperture. What is that? That is aperture. Now the aperture is the area of mirror which is available for the reflecting of light. From where to where is the area available for reflecting of light? Suppose from this point to this point, this is the area from where the light will be reflected. Okay, this particular area I will draw it a line, that is m and m dash. So this would be our aperture. The aperture is the area of mirror which is available for reflecting light. So in this figure, what is aperture? M, P and m dash is our aperture in this figure. Okay, so these are the things which are necessary that we want to know about the spherical mirror of our light. Now another one more thing, while we are talking about the spherical mirrors, there are some important things that we should note, that are the laws of reflection which are applicable for the plane mirror. This is a plane mirror. Then similar laws are applicable, they are also applicable to the spherical mirror too. The laws of reflection, let me write here, laws of reflection which are itself applicable. Where are they applicable? They are applicable in the plane mirror. They are similarly applicable to the spherical mirror too. Then at any point Q on the mirror, where is our point Q? Just imagine that from anywhere we take a point Q on the mirror. The normal is the line joining the point and the center of curvature. Suppose that we take a spherical mirror over here. Okay, there is any point Q on the mirror. This is the point Q on the mirror. Let us think that this C is the center of curvature over here. This is the center of curvature. Then the normal is the line joining that point at the center of curvature. The point which joins these things, the line which joins these things, this is the normal in between them. What is that? That is normal. And according to laws of reflection, a ray of light passing through the center of curvature and striking the mirror has a zero angle of incidence. This means that ray retraces the path from the center of curvature. When it goes to the point, again it comes back to that similar point. It means it is tracing the path this manner, going the same way and coming back the same way. If it is tracing the path, then the angle is of 0 degrees. So there would be the reflection angle, or the reflection should be 0. This means that the ray retraces the path. And then another one more important thing which we are talking about, the distance m to m dash. The distance m, point m to point m dash, these two extreme points on the periphery of the mirror is called linear aperture. Suppose there is a point, suppose this is a mirror, spherical mirror, and here we have point m and m dash. Actually this is our aperture, correct? So at this aperture, the distance between these two extreme points on the periphery of the mirror is linear aperture. What will we call it as that? Linear aperture. This distance m2 m dash would be our linear aperture. Okay, and the angle subtended by the periphery at the center of curvature is called angular aperture. So the angle which is made at the center, that angle would be our angular aperture. So what are these things and how they are going to work? Let us see about the sign conventions and spherical mirror in the next portion.